Yesterday, I spent like 30 minutes working on a session discussing about Soleil potential buff to a magic stat, but then this morning I realized that it didn't happen at all and it was just a typo, so the entire thing got erased and I'm angry. Soleil is an apothecary from Sufa Tausha. Her kit kind of resembles Alfyn, where her skill set is not just a simple apothecary skill set of applying regen and have some multi-hit. Her has regen and a burst heal and 2 multi-hit on top of that, 1 for axe and 1 for light. But the thing that makes her stand out from the other apothecary though is that on top of having an AoE regen, she also has an AoE front row burst heal. Her burst heal is strong because unlike other apothecary, her burst heal affects everyone in the front row and not just single target, and her burst heal can also cleanse up most status ailment that your teammates have. Other than that one niche that makes Soleil stand out, she is just another standard healer. Healer with AoE burst heal and regen isn't really a new thing since we already have characters like Agnes and Ophelia. Not to mention that Soleil healing power is not as strong as someone from the Cleric class because Cleric has a higher base magic stat weapon than apothecary weapon. Imagine that everyone on your team is paralyzed and Soleil herself is also paralyzed, so when Soleil tried to cleanse out the status ailment that your team had, Soleil failed because she was also paralyzed. The first passive gave her some form of protection to make sure that her cleansing go off rather than just being stuck paralyzed with the rest of her team. And her second passive make her buff on her regen 1 turn longer, which is always nice for a healer to have. As for her ultimate, it's kind of conflicting. This is a strong ultimate because not only it can hit 4 times, it also grants light damage up to the entire team, which stack with passive damage up, so someone like Vulcan or Det with the passive 30% damage up for light damage up would stack with Soleil ultimate. But for Soleil, there is 2 problems for her. Number 1 is that her light move has a low potency to it, so Soleil will not cut out to be a strong light DPS. She will be a decent one, but not a strong one. The second is that Soleil is slow and her buff only lasts for 2 turns, which means that if you want to do a 2-turn break rotation and apply as much damage as possible to the enemy on a light team comp, Soleil has to be the one that go first and give all other light DPS like Vulcan and Odette 2 turns of light damage up rather than just 1. So, because of that, my opinion of Soleil ultimate is that it's not worth to level 10 it. I have already talked about most of her strength and weaknesses, so let's talk about her buff that she have in EN. Apparently, Soleil never got any buff, and it was a Twitter typo where it would say that she would get some elemental attack stat buff, so therefore, let's just move on. Right now in EN, Soleil is just a normal healer. Unless most of the enemy you're fighting is status effect heavy in the battle, then other healer like Ophelia would be better for the team than Soleil. In the land of the rising sun, Soleil, unless the enemy you're fighting is constantly applying status effect every single turn, then Soleil is obsolete over there. Even then, there are a few options you will consider before picking Soleil. Linyu can nullify 1 or 2 status ailment completely, and Primrose EX can nullify most status ailment through her front row attack and magic buff. Let's compare Soleil to Alfyn. Both of these characters are very similar to each other. Both have single target multi-hit, 1 for axe and light, the other one for axe and ice, although one is 3 hit and the other one is 4 hit. Both of them has regen, and both of them has a way to nullify status ailment to the entire team. The difference between these two though is that one character can grant healing to the entire team instantly, while the other one can grant up to 4 BP to the entire team. Alfyn might look like the better one here, but with Soleil, you can run her as the lone healer because if the healing from the region isn't enough, then her burst heal shall cover the healing if the enemy you are fighting is too hard. With Alfyn though, you had to bring extra healer if the enemy is a bit too difficult for his region to be enough. In the end, with the exception of the Pomegranate Shower from Alfyn and Soleil are not that different from each other in terms of usage. If you already have Alfyn, then you probably do not need Soleil, but you lack Alfyn and lack a good healer like Ophelia, then getting Alfyn is not, getting Soleil is not bad at all. As for me, I do not think that status ailment is that big of a problem in the game, because outside of the Unicup, status ailment is not that common and it's not that big of a problem. So therefore, I will just keep saving for future characters.